We'll quickly go through the news articles for August 16, 23 from the business line. Please listen to this at 2x speed. First article, Indigo co-founder is looking to sell almost 4% stake. There has been some feud between the founders and they want to go through the sales plan. Uh, Infosys also signs a 1.5 billion deal with Liberty Global. Uh, Government does not consider or they're not reconsidering rice export ban. Vegetable prices fall, but inflation worries persist because of increased prices of cereal, pulses, spices, and milk. Then also heavy rain disrupt business activities in Himachal. There was lots of death toll, tourism getting hit, and because of the recent heavy rainfall and landslide, uh, businesses are also getting affected. Another article from Ola Electric, who's planning to double the output capacity in 6 to 9 months. Lots of news around them. Maybe they're going for an IPO. Profit, that's the most important question. And this article talks more about it. Then one interesting article, IoT enabled ECs that pays customer for switching off. So this will help during peak conditions, peak demand conditions. Then massive subscription and listing gains, IPOs of SMEs are gaining traction. Uh, Trishka, yeah, this is one interesting one, and many other companies over here. Yeah. So this also talks about the IPO pricing and how everything is and etc. Yeah. There's an interesting visual on India's R&D needs. So basically, US spends almost 679 billion, I think, dollars, whereas India spends $65.2 billion, which is okay because it's not very far off seventh globally, but then as a percentage of GDP, it's only 0.65, whereas Israel is 4.8, South Korea is 4.5. Sweden and Germany, they are all very high up. This article also talks about global R&D spending from 2000, almost four times jump, not four, three times jump from 2000 to 2022. And India's R&D spend is not keeping pace with GDP, where government is the major spender. So these are the agencies, and then private spending has increased a bit. It was maximum in 2011-12, almost 45.2%, whereas government spending decreased. So this is how it is. Um, yeah, Ola's expansion. This is the article. Uh, I mean, one can read through this. Cafe Coffee Day makes a profit of 25 crore and Uniflex posts a loss of 416 crore. Mahindra and Mahindra launches a 7 lightweight tractor under Oja platform. It's of 2240 horsepower and it exported around 18,000 tractor in FY23, and these are the presence of Mahindra. Infosys signs that 1.5 billion deal and it talks about career opportunities and all of that. One can go through this. This article is on rural regions seeing an uptick in growth from Dabur's CEO. So there's a lot of questions over here. Interesting question. What he says is rural region contribution to nearly business is nearly 40 to 45%, 45 to 50%, which is relatively higher. And they're talking about acquisitions and how does inflation play out. What is going to be the rural strategy for the future? Branded food versus non-branded. Baiju again on audited result, not very relevant. Viacom merges Jio Cinema and Voot OTT platform. One can go through this. Uh, Interesting article. Veg prices fall, but cereals, milk, and pulses are still expensive, and they are on a steady rise. Global WPI has seen a decline, but the domestic CPI is increasing to almost, I think, 7%. So this global WPI decrease kind of signifies that input costs for manufacturing can go down. Yeah. Then there's an article on Sri Lanka scrapping 3.85 billion oil refinery deal because it didn't start. Windfall gain taxes on diesel and jet fuel hiked. Russia to lift oil export duty as price breach cap. Then microloans fall in delinquencies drove MSME lending. That's why we are seeing such a good MSME lending, and also companies such as Ugro Capital are doing so good. Then again, this is the rice export story. Um, India probably will decelerate Russian crude import in August and September. Uh, there is tax regime changes, and then there is also price cap that is coming in. Yeah, and also government pays UAE for in rupees for crude oil, and maybe this could be a sign for reduction in de-dollarification. Yeah, government plans to upskill 2 crore women under Lakpati Didi. This is in Prime Minister's speech, and it's basically training women to be more skilled in plumbing, LED bulb making, operating, repairing drones, etc. DGCA forms a panel to find ways to boost gender equality in civil aviation. Interesting read. These we have in the editorials. I'll quickly jump. China, they are the culprit now. They cut the key rates as weak batch for July data darkens economic outlook. Also, there is a vicious cycle sparked by China trust wars. I think liquidity stress is intensifying for indebted developer and their non-bank creditor after a unit of Zhongzhai Enterprise Group, one of the China's largest private wealth manager, failed to deliver on time payment for multiple products. So, not very good scenario for China. Then Blackstone news and US import prices rebound in July, trend remains soft. Fitch says, I mean, they might downgrade banks even further. Let's see. Uh, then there is some today's pick of Bank of India. Interesting. China quiet. Media is also quiet on that troubles of the top wealth manager, which we discussed now, and this is not good. Russia's central bank hikes rates to prop up falling ruble to contain inflation, and mostly because of war and all of those. There's some political news on Trump. We can skip it. Then S&P decision to axe ESG scores from bond rating splits the market. So including ESG scores and credit rating is proving particularly sensitive given to the potential influence of an issuer's borrowing cost. So because of ESG, they can borrow cheaper. So that's, yeah. Global wealth projected to rise 3% by 2027 despite recent decline. In India, per capita income could become 14.9 lakhs, which is by 2047. Currently, it's 2 lakhs per capita income. And key growth factor is circulatory migration, skilled workforce upgrading to better opportunities or transition to a higher income bucket as the Indian diaspora finds promises of the new Indian economy lucrative enough to collaborate in innovative ways in tandem with interstate migration. Yeah. Uh, Then you have Punjab Sindh Bank News and then Gravitex Coin Switch help in Web3 ventures. Rupee may tumble against dollar in the coming weeks. We'll have to see that. Additional CRR may hit banks' interest income only a little bit. Repco Home eyes almost 14,000 crore AUM by FY24. And there's a renewed opportunity in 700 crore IPO worth IPOs in the pipeline. So there's an article on why on the IPO market. It could be good to read because FII has been buying quite a lot of IPO. Caplin Point working on 500 crore capex expansion. Profit rises to 21% in Q1. Pitti Engineering results should be good. Then monsoon is 36% below normal in the first 2 weeks of August, but no major worry because except pests like there are some pests that are out there, which is a challenge. And then Vietnam export of rice, Malaysia almost 19% increase in palm oil export. Then area under JIRA may double as prices are up almost 100% this year. There's a startup called Zeta Farms who's giving direct jobs. Some El Nino news from Australia. One can go through this one. And NCDEX, which is National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange, is planning to study with SkyMet regarding weather impact on agriculture. Brazil farmers harvest 71% of the second corn crop. Then MCX also launches an online dispute redressal platform. Instant Coffee drives exports in April, July, which is a pretty large section of export. Then Farmer Fresh Zone receives US recognition. This is also a startup. Then renewable PPAs, power purchase agreement capacity signed by Discom drops to 41% in FY23. Uh, Module cost and lower auctioning are the major problems, and also the module costs are rising actually. Then New Delhi border row over here, and HCL Tech's CA digitization. CA is Cricket Australia, a transformation partner. Then there's an article on reality check shows many bumps on the hydrogen green road to green hydrogen. One of the key challenges, renewable prices are also going up compared to direct, I mean, the better way. Also, how green is defined is also not clear. Some article on Singarini collieries, and this is an interesting article. Says how India is stepping up the exploration of critical minerals. One can go through it. Over 50 explorations are on for rare earth elements. This is one of GSI's biggest exploration activities in the segment in recent times. Yeah, and they are looking for niobium and then vanadium, lithium, and all of that. And these are the areas where they are trying to explore. Yeah, JLL expands to stainless steel in home infra plumbing. Then Polavaram multipurpose project. Then there's a bit of PM Modi's speech. I mean, Lakpati Didi scheme, 15,000 women self-help group will be given drone training to be used in farm activities. Vishwakarma Yojana, Jan Aushadhi, etc. Then Google spat Disney was asked to pay 4% commission. Hollywood writer expect to respond to studio's latest proposal, and RBI's arm to launch a long-range wireless tech-based solution for better rural reach. This is based on LoRa, which is a long-range wireless protocol. LoRa protocol. Basically, two banks can share critical financial information between them. And then Sulabh International founder Bindeshwar Pathak passes away, sad, and Italy to reduce visa delay.